Hi there, and thank you for watching. My name is Margarita, and I'm the founder of the Marriage Immigration Method. Our method is focused exclusively on one thing, and that is guiding independent couples through the marriage adjustment of status process. We empower you to secure your green card, removal of conditions, and eventually navigate naturalization without the need to hire a lawyer. If you're ready to take control of your immigration process and do it the right way, this is for you. Also, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates or helpful tips from us. And today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Rafael and Will, who have an incredible story to share about their journey. Stick around to hear how they got their green card quickly and managed the process on their own with our method. Hi there, can you start by introducing yourself and sharing where you are originally from?
I'm Rafa Papen. I'm from the Dominican Republic, and I moved here to the US in 2022 as a student. Yeah.
2022.
January.
And I'm Will. I'm from Kentucky, and I moved to New York City in 2014.
Amazing. So, Rafa, tell me a little bit more. So you came on an F1 visa as a student. What were you pursuing?
Yeah, I actually came 2019, right before COVID, on F1. And then when COVID hit, I had to go back home, and then I came back as an F1 to do musical theater. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And did you finish your program?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Cool. And then when we connected, were you on OPT at that time? That was the situation, right?
Yeah, I had 3 months left on my OPT.
Uh-huh. Can you remind me if it lapsed at any point? Like if you needed to expedite your work permit, or was there a gap in your employment because of the work permit situation?
No, there was like a 25-day gap between when my OPT expired and my work permit got approved.
New one. Okay, so it wasn't so bad. It basically worked out.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to tell me, you guys. Will, you're from Kentucky, moved to New York. You're from Dominican Republic, obviously also ended up in New York, but how did you guys come to be? Like, that's the best part about this whole deal.
How do we?
You say.
We're both performers. And we were doing a contract in Florida, 42nd Street, for those musical theater nerds out there. So we were just assigned to travel together. We were assigned to be car mates. So we went from car mates to housemates to boyfriends to husbands to cat owners. Yeah, so the theater world brought us together, and we were supposed to do another show together.
We were supposed to meet before
Tell me.
this show.
Doing this show.
He he was doing a contract with Royal Caribbean. They do that show on the ship. Supposed to be on the cast that was gonna go after his cast. So we would have like a 2-month crossover, but then he left his contract early, and then I also didn't end up doing the ship.
Wow, but later you still connected. Tell me.
Yeah, we were gonna be like literally in the same boat for 2 months.
But it didn't happen. But then it still happened.
But then it
4 months
still
later?
happened, right,
Yeah.
right. We of course didn't find that out until we were talking a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, after the fact, you're like, I can't believe we basically missed each other. There was already an opportunity.
Because I had videos of him on my phone, but I didn't know it was him because of all the costume and makeup.
Because he was running the show, and then I was leaving. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That's awesome. Okay, and then later on you connected just through a different show is what it sounds like. Yeah, okay. So obviously at some point things got serious and you guys got serious. So you knew that, okay, this is it, we're doing it. What was the plan when it came to the green card itself? How did you think you were going to handle it initially?
Well, we had a couple of calls with lawyers here in the city, just because for many months before, I really wanted to get a work visa. It was just very hard, especially as a performer. Like most lawyers were like, it's gonna be a very, very, very difficult thing to happen.
Impossible.
Yeah.
For this career of specifically musical theater because because it almost always has an end date. There's only contracted for a very certain amount of time.
Like 10 months, like you were telling me.
Or yes,
Or it
10
could even
months.
be less. It could even be just
But
3
it's
months.
almost always less. It could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. It's just difficult with the industry, musical theater itself, because of the short contracts. If he was a ballet dancer, so many concert dancers get the ability to get artist visas so much easier because it's easier to approve them.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So basically, initially you considered the work visa and it was a no-go. You researched it, you really looked into it, but it was like, it's not.
Yeah.
And then eventually you were like, okay, so then this is it.
When I called these other offices, I just didn't like how, first of all, it was way too expensive. And most of them were just like, we're just gonna send you out a form for you to fill out. And I was like they would just send out a form with the exact same questions of the forms that you would have to fill out if you did it yourself. And they would just like
Right, I remember that. I'm like,
copy paste.
and they're like, we do all the work for you.
And then we had a lot of questions for them, and we just felt like they were not, I just didn't feel comfortable because I had asked them, for example, oh, can I wanna send my medical with the initial application. I want to send everything together.
Of course.
The lawyer said, oh, you don't do that. You get the medical once you get the interview. Like when you are requested an interview, you go get your medical to go take it to the interview. But I was watching your TikToks for like many, many, many months already. And I
He
was
was already like prepared off book, 100% knew the drill, no questions.
There was no trust, basically, like when it came to talking to them.
And even though all the work that we still ended up having to do, we still would have had to do, plus even more, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
most definitely we would have had to do more work if we would have gone with someone else. Even though the other lawyers framed it as, oh, we do everything for you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and that's okay if they don't do everything for us, because we're not expecting someone to do everything for us.
Yeah.
But
We just expected a little bit of, I was working away because I was on a tour.
and
So
we
I
were
was
planning the wedding.
So we were not gonna be together living on the same house for like 7-8 months because I was working. So we wanted to have a lawyer who would do all that just because we wouldn't be together, and I didn't know how I was gonna manage my time because I didn't know how work was gonna be. But yeah, it ended up being like really easy. Like with the program, we filled out the forms probably in like 2 days.
It was a really straightforward program. There's a lot of people who have been there, and by a lot I mean there's more than one
Yeah.
couple who has been asking us about our experience, our process, and
Yeah.
what was helpful. So we've recommended your program to people because it was so straightforward and so not dry and misunderstood, right? In terms of like lawyer speak.
Yeah. So basically it was easy, even though it's legal technically, it was still like completely easy for you to understand like what was going on at the time. Tell me more on that.
Well, everything is just laid out right in front of you, and every term is explained. Everything is just laid out, so there is like no way for someone to not understand the entire process, because everything is explained so well, so detailed. Like even in the forms where you said this question might be tricky because of this, like I would have like never filled out that question, even though you said you have to fill it out. You explained why, and I went, oh, okay, now I understand.
And those are the tips, not the tips, but those are the moments that we would not get from other people. We would not get from other lawyers, because we went through we went through checklist after checklist, your checklists, his checklists. We went through and checked through everything, and then while we were filling out, we were studying and filling out at the same time. And then there were several times where we would review each section and then at the end review the entire thing. And even though we got an RFE or RFE,
yes.
even though we got that, and we all know here, it wasn't our fault.
It really wasn't. Like, I don't, it's a very typical thing on the I-64. It really wasn't.
Say why we got it. I don't know if you remember.
If we were
it just
alone on
said-
this, we would have no idea we would have 100% no idea what they were asking for.
Yeah,
Unless you would have helped us.
they said the only thing it said was we are unable to process the form, but it didn't say what mistakes were in there. And so I went online on my portal and I clicked on the document section because they had already uploaded the entire thing. And I went to check to see if I had done something wrong. And so on the computer, I put the video from the program, and then on my phone, I had the form.
There was nothing.
And it was like completely correct. So when we resend everything, we put his parents as
guarantors,
joint sponsors,
yeah,
just in case. But then form we sent it out completely the same.
The same. This goes to show and prove that there was actually nothing wrong. So it's almost as if you've done this for long enough that you know where to avoid snags. It's so streamlined in like literally the best way, no negative parts about it, other than the people who work for USC, I guess, who review do you know what I mean? When you get, I mean, I guess like teachers, when they get something from like an above and beyond student, and they're like, oh, I guess that's great. They're not expecting it to be like so, so perfectly presented that I think that they just wanted to do something just to recall something.
I get it. Yeah. We also believe that they have a quota system and that every, quarter they have to issue so many RFEs. And
Of course.
Every quarter they have to schedule so many interviews, and people are like, why am I scheduled for an interview?
Paperwork was perfect. I think it was perfect. I really don't think there was anything wrong, but
I mean,
it's the quota that they had to like fill.
Even with the RFE, like I got the green card in way less time than I expected. Like I expected to get it in like 8 to 10 months, and it was like, it was fast. In my opinion, it was really fast. It was
technically 6.
It was 6
physically
months.
7.
Yeah, it was 6 months.
Well, and here's the thing. You still could have gotten an RFE if you guys have gone through the law firm, obviously, because it happens to them all the time too. But now they actually charge you to respond to that RFE.
Oh, wow.
But here you guys were able to handle it yourself. And you tell me more about that. How was that process when it came to actually responding to that thing?
Well, when I got the notification on my phone that it had said we've taken action on your case, I actually thought that one of the forms was approved.
Yeah, I get it.
I went in really fast, and when I saw the RFE, like I panicked for the first 10 minutes. But then another thing that I like about the program is the Facebook in my mind. The entire time while I was waiting, for me, the Facebook was the hotline.
Yeah.
Like question right into the Facebook group. If I had a question, I sometimes wouldn't even write it down. I would just on the search bar inside the group just write down
and look
keywords about my question, and there would be like 15, 20 posts already with the same question. So it helped me like stay calm throughout the entire process. And even with the RFE, like once after 10 minutes passed, I was already really calm because I already knew what to do. There was no waiting period of not knowing what's going to happen because all the answers were already there.
Obviously, you are providing all of the knowledge and guidance, and like you are the boss, and it's totally worth the program is totally worth it just for you, but then to have the Facebook group and have not just everyone else's experiences, which is very, you know, lovely to see, and a community to like confide in and see other people being successful and in the same program, but it's a bonus because we have all of their experience that we can also use to, and it's not even like included. I mean, it's not even not included because it is, but it's not something we would get from another law firm or from it brings that thing.
Gives you a bit more support.
Yeah, and seeing everyone else go through the same thing. So it's other places don't have that.
Yeah. I have a friend who she was applying for the work visa.
That is awesome, Kat. It's so big.
He ended up spending like more than what we spent on the entire immigration process, plus our wedding budget. Like, she was this close to
that much?
Yes, she spent $20,000. Yeah.
We did our wedding for like
because
17.
Because she got denied, I think, twice. And this firm just said, okay, this is what you have to do, and this is what we're gonna do. And she would say, but can we try this instead? Can we do this? And there would never be like an in-between. It would just be what they wanted to do. And she would always tell me, like, I don't like it because I feel like what they're doing is not correct, especially because also they didn't understand her career, and she would just like ask questions and they would just never like give her an actual response. With us, it was like I would compare it with our experience on the program in that we always had answers. And before applying for the green card, again, I was gonna go on tour. So I was nervous because I was like, I'm not gonna live in the apartment. I'm not gonna be in New York. Are they gonna like flag us for that? Are they gonna understand that it's for work that I have to travel for 8 months? But with the program, like having everything there and like having the explanation on how to put the evidence together, to like write things down under the pictures. Like I made sure to, in a bunch of pictures, say, I put a picture of my opening night that Will gave me flowers. I was like, Will came to visit me in this state because I'm here for work. And then I would put a picture of us for like in Chicago, and I would say Will came and visited me in Chicago. And then I would put a lot of pictures in Chicago. So I made sure to like, even in the evidence, like explain why I was away a lot and why we're traveling a lot. Yeah.
So also I'm curious, so from the start, you guys were not thinking, okay, we're just gonna do it ourselves. Your consideration was, we're just gonna hire a law firm, or we need some sort of help. Is that where you were?
Yes.
Why did you think doing it entirely yourself was not an option? Just because you were busy, I would imagine, very busy.
Yeah, because before entering the process, I thought it was gonna be way more. But it's like, I thought it was gonna, because when I was also like I also kept looking at YouTube videos of couples talking about their experience. And when I would see the packets like this thick, I thought that it was like way too much. You know what I mean? Like I thought it
like a typed book.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like way too much.
A manuscript.
Yeah. It's still a lot, but again, everything is laid out that if you like, you can fill out the forms in 2 days. Like even in one day.
If you take it and do everything that you give us, you know, consecutively, you could do it in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But we were
Okay, yeah, I was traveling.
We were planning a wedding. We were doing things here in the city, and everything is so fast here.
Yeah.
If you don't work enough in the week, then you're not gonna eat. So we wanted to do we got so turned off by law firms.
Yeah.
I know lawyers, he knows lawyers, everyone, our lawyer friends know lawyer friends, and we were asking people like everywhere, every day, like, how can we do this? Who do you know?
Do you remember how much they were quoting you guys? Just approximately, those law firms.
It's 6,500.
For New York, it's not too bad, but yeah, I can definitely see.
Yeah, it's,
I even considered at one
but
point,
that still wasn't gonna be everything.
yeah, it was just gonna be the green card process.
Yeah.
There's other,
Yeah.
you have to
Um,
buy the package.
Yeah. 15K package. Yeah, of course.
I even considered using a lawyer from the Dominican Republic.
Ah, tell me about that.
But when I talked with her, it was an immediate no, like 5 minutes into the conversation, because
Mhm.
she said, "Oh, you can just start by filing the I-130 by itself. Just file it online."
This is the other one.
And I said, absolutely not. Like,
Yeah,
because it was gonna take way longer.
Yeah.
So
if you were done,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was so yeah.
So that was not an option. All right. So what made you trust us and enroll in the program to handle your immigration? What was it?
Well, when we had the little mini consultation back in December, I think it was. Yeah. Oh my God.
it's almost
Back in December, I just felt really comfortable with like your answers.
the guidance.
Yeah,
You had confidence in us.
there was guidance, the confidence, also the confidence you had in yourself. Because when we also talked to other lawyers, they seem to be a little like, obviously they know what they're talking about, but I felt like it was not like a strong
They seemed very hesitant.
yeah.
They were like, well, I guess it might work. It was very unsettling. And we even did speak to LGBTQ friendly lawyers. Not that you're not, but we were speaking to LGBTQ law firm and specifically LGBTQ lawyers who have also done this process as a same-sex couple themselves.
That's cool.
Find
I remember they would just kind of scare us a little, because they would just be like, well, but I'm not saying you're gonna get approved, this and that, and then it would make me feel scared of
100%
doing,
not confident.
yeah.
Not confident in them.
And of course,
and
no,
not
of
confident in our
course,
case.
a lawyer won't know if we will get approved or not, but you just had confidence in us and in everything, and we really appreciated that.
So look, aside from the RFE, that phony, stupid RFE, any challenges or setbacks, or more or less, it was a good experience?
It was really good. I mean,
I think
it
it went
was
as good as it could have. If we didn't get the RFV, we probably would have gotten the green card a month sooner.
probably, but yeah, everything was really smooth. Like in the relationship, I'm the one who always takes charge of things. Like I'm the one who's always on top of things.
For this one specifically, but in general, yes. But for this one specifically, I did not want to be caught with the wrong paper. So I was very attentive with my organization and filing.
I cannot think of
I can't think of a large issue that we had or any sort of bump or confusion, because
once the packet was almost ready in December, even though we sent it out in March.
yeah, we only had to add a couple more things.
It was completely ready. Yeah, I think everything was really smooth, because I just remember I was just stuck to the computer, watching everything, making sure everything was correct. Again, everything is just laid out.
And that's the thing, is that
Yeah.
it's not like we were just stuck at the computer for days and hours and months and years, but it's the fact that you go through the form with us, and I don't need somebody to go through the form with us and hold my hand and right? But when you were going through everything with us, virtually, it's
Yeah.
knowing that every line that you're filling out is not going to, you're not doing it just on your own where you're just guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the slightest guess we didn't have to do because you brought us through everything, and that's not what a law firm would have done.
Plus also like learning about
And we learned,
yeah, like you learn a lot, so you also feel confident because you already know a lot of information. Like I would even watch in the
He's gonna become an immigration lawyer.
would watch when you put the different scenarios of for like the sponsors.
Yeah.
I would watch every single video, even if like it didn't apply to me. I would just watch it because it was just good information. Like it's so informative.
I'm also curious, did you feel confident about your application? Because I remember your evidence, it looked very solid. Like we kind of went over it, and like your wedding and the pictures from there were so amazing. And I remember how Rafa was like, hey, can I submit a video? We have a beautiful, beautiful video. I want them to see it.
Well, Will was like, he was like, babe, we need to get them to see this video. We need to get them to see these videos. Like they just have to see them. That's enough evidence. Because he just wanted them to see that he did a flash mob at the wedding with all my friends, and I had no idea. But
Aw.
Romance by Lady Gaga, of course. But it was, people are still talking about our wedding. I'm not saying that it's different or better, but people are talking about it because I've catered like 700 weddings in New York since 2014. I've literally catered so many weddings. Taylor Swift, a guest. Catherine Zeta-Jones, a guest. Alec Baldwin. Crazy, 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 crazy. You're like the whole thing. And so, but our wedding, which how many weddings was it for you?
it was my first wedding ever.
Oh, what?
So, but everyone's still talking about it besides us. Because it was so like not it. Everyone tried to say, my mom was like, oh, it's so like non-traditional. I was like, is that because it's two boys getting married? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is the
Non-traditional part.
wait, what is the non-traditional part? We're wearing black and white, we have a harp, we're doing the I do's, we do a dance, we do the cake. What's non-traditional? We had a drag queen, whatever.
But it was like the wedding was like the biggest evidence of it was very us.
Yeah.
But it was
So that
also
way it
that
was such
everyone
great
was
evidence.
there
Yeah.
and they all said the same thing about like this was such a personal, loving, like, I don't know, our officiant Lindy, she's one of my dance teachers. Her daughter gave birth right the night before our wedding. So
Wow.
she became a grandmother
Yeah.
the night before our wedding, but she still came to officiate us. And so she was already at a very high level of emotions. But and she's also been to several weddings. She's very outgoing. She's very, the life of the party. And so she said, not that it's the ultimate seal of approval, but she said that it was one of the weddings one of the best weddings that she's ever been to.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did it all by ourselves. We did the cake by ourselves. We did the flowers by ourselves.
I couldn't believe that, you guys.
So I'm like, if they won't believe that we went through all of this,
Yeah, because we were for real. Yeah.
we are not
Yeah.
lying or joking about being a couple, then if the USCIS only knew how difficult it was to choreograph a tap dance with your partner, not difficult, but what it takes to, yes.
Do it. Yeah.
We didn't put the video. I did put screenshots, and I said a flash mob that will choreograph. But yeah, there was so much evidence that when I sent the package out, like
We almost didn't even include half of it.
when I gave the counter person at what was it?
FedEx probably,
at FedEx,
yeah.
It was more like a sigh of relief.
Thank
Like,
goodness.
here,
Take it away.
Just take it.
Take it.
Because
know,
we've
it's
been carrying
good.
it around.
Yeah.
We've been like physically carrying it around.
It traveled
from
with me
state to
everywhere.
state to state.
I
Be-
remember that.
Working on it. So every time I would leave to go visit him, I would have to bring, he's like, older. And it like in the vault, and you know, what if I had to put it in my carry-on because it's the thing, it's like one of the things like it cannot be lost.
Yeah.
Too important. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you guys enrolled in December, but you submitted the application in March just because of work. A lot of things were going on at the time.
And we
That's
want
why.
to have the
Yeah.
most complete packet possible. And if we would have
No, and
submitted
also
in
'cause
December, we would have
got
had 50% less.
our initial plan months before the consultation call, when we were gonna get, when we said, yes, we're gonna get married, we planned on doing it in December,
Just the sooner the better.
but then we ended up doing it in February because what we thought was gonna be like a 20 guest wedding became like 100 plus guest wedding. So
Well, if we're gonna do a wedding, we're gonna do a wedding.
For real. Yeah. I get it. I get it. I remember. Did your mom end up inviting friends and stuff like that? Or did you guys only, you were the only ones?
Oh yeah, we got guest lists from both of our mothers that were very long.
I didn't expect that many people from the Dominican Republic because it's such a long travel time.
It was like their highlight. It was everyone's highlight.
Yeah.
But specifically traveling for a wedding.
Yeah.
I
And
think that they were very,
there were like 40 people from the Dominican Republic. It was,
That-
yes.
it was a lot.
Yes.
Wow. And you guys did it in Kentucky, is that right? That's where it was. Wow. So they came all the way. That's very cool.
To
Yeah.
Kentucky, like literally Lexington, Kentucky.
We started filling out everything that we could fill out, and then we just waited for the wedding to have the marriage certificate and like everything else.
The photos.
Yeah, photos of the wedding. And then for the evidence, at the end of every month after December, I would add more evidence from like January and then February. Like
Mhm.
I would just keep adding things to the packet. Yeah.
Yeah. And you submitted in March.
Yeah, March 13th.
Okay. So March 13, what happens from there? Like how long did it take you to get your work permit?
It took a little less. Well,
3 months.
when I said, I think 5 days after submitting the packet, I got the biometrics appointment.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until like a whole month after I got the appointment notification. And what I did is I just simply changed it to the next morning. And then I remember as soon as I got it done, when I came out, I got a notification that the work permit and the I-485 were under review.
Mhm.
And then I got my work permit in like 3 weeks after. It was
pretty good.
Yeah, it was really, really fast.
And it was just on its own. It just came through in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then what about travel permit? Did you get that one?
Oh yeah, but I got it 2 weeks before the green card.
Of course. Okay.
I honestly, like, before, when we first applied, my biggest, like, one of my biggest concerns was, oh, I'm not gonna be able to go home. The cats are
I remember that. And I remember why you needed to go home. I remember you were worried about that. Yeah.
But honestly, I now have the green card, and I don't even have any plans of going home. It was really fast. It was really smooth.
So
Yeah.
again, you applied on March 13th, and then you got your work permit 3 weeks later. Travel permit came through then sometime in October, it sounds like, right? Or September?
It came in,
Travel.
yeah, the travel came in September.
September 2024, and then the green card came.
Seeing everyone's packets was so scary. But then when we had our own, we were like, oh,
Here we are.
so much. But I guess we sent in over 1,000 pages.
Wow.
It's almost 1,000 pages. Yeah, it
With
was
the
it was a
RFE,
lot. It
with
was
the RFE.
Yeah, it was a lot. Here it is. So I got I got the green card September 29, and I got the
Oh.
travel permit August.
Uh-huh.
August.
August 2024. Okay. Okay. Well, I have to ask you, how did it feel getting that green card?
It was honestly really exciting. We had celebrated a little prematurely just because we got the I-130 approved. Here it says we got it approved August 28th. And so since I had seen in the on the Facebook group that people get approved the same day or the next day, I showed Will and we were like, oh my God, yay, fun. And then one day passed, nothing came, and we were still like, yay, we have it. We're gonna get approved tomorrow. And another day passed, and then another day passed, and then
Yeah.
another day passed.
The weeks passed.
Yes, like literally a whole month passed.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I got the I-130 approved August 28th and the green card approved September 29th.
Wow. And I remember Will was like, okay, like, are we going to be scheduled for an interview? Like, why is this happening? What's going on? I remember it was a bit weird.
Yeah, but I didn't feel nervous just because,
Because everything had said approved, but we didn't know if it meant approved waiting for interview or approved we don't have to interview.
well,
So it's very like generic and vague, the language that they use. They're like, we cannot process your application. And we're like, why?
well, when I remember not being nervous just because after the I-130 got approved, I was checking the portal every day. And in the section for the I-485 where it says steps, it was marking until step number 2.
Like
And-
completed,
Yeah. But then
not waiting. Yeah.
I was also checking the posts every day in the group, and I cannot remember who, but someone posted, someone was going through the same thing as us, that they were waiting for one of the forms to get approved. And she said, oh, now this form says step 3, which is attend interview if necessary, is marked now as completed. So does that mean that my interview was waived?
Right.
And then I went in my form and mine still said step 2. So I was like,
Yeah, it was the like,
and then a week after, step 3 was completed for me. I went into the Emma chat and I asked the agent, and
Emma chat.
they would just copy paste the response because I would get the same response every time of your form is awaiting processing, this and that, check this link to check the processing times. But they would never really say anything. But
Yeah.
then I ended up,
Get
Okay.
approved.
yeah.
Without an interview. So that was sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. So would you say that this journey together as a couple strengthened your relationship since you literally had to go through this together?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
thought that I was gonna be the one who was gonna be more stressed and like I was already preparing myself to like cry and just be under so much stress and just be nervous because I was like in the waiting game and just in the middle of like, because I also didn't know I was gonna get the work permit approved. So I thought that for many months I was just gonna be like here, like assisting, not being able to work, not being able to do anything. But I feel like he got more nervous than me, like when something small happened.
Yeah, of course.
well, it's very unlike anything I've ever had to do before.
Yep, it was new.
And I know that that's my American privilege.
Yeah.
It's just something that you don't realize how much work, and also applying for a green card in this climate right now,
Yeah.
like I mean, literally the thing that I was worried about the most is that rules, laws, whatever people want to call them, are changing all the time. Typically, it's not for the best. Just in terms of what is for good and what is not. And what is to, I guess, further oppress certain people and countries that other people are from. I mean, what is happening right now with the election and everything, it is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And to go through this process is so, I would not have had to do this if he wasn't here. And so to see like everything that he had to go through, but I'm also helping with it. I'm going through it by proxy, but it's not about me. My life is like not on the line. It was really like educating and eye-opening to see like, I mean, how much stuff they could, how many hoops they can make you jump through, because it definitely is easier for certain people
Yeah.
than other people.
The entire like process.
The entire process. And it's, you know, even to just be around people who say illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Not that, it's also the like
because we were
when-
in Kentucky and
the only time I felt like I wasn't stressed about the RFE per se, but I was just a little bit like flustered because I was like, why did we get this? Like,
right.
and it felt a little unfair, but aside from that, there was never stress about
Right.
like my application per
No.
se, or yeah,
Or about the process. It just was in
it's
like
about how the USCIS manages things.
Functions. Yeah.
Like in my portal, when I got the work permit approved, I would have never known it was approved until I received it in the mail because I never got a notification.
Yeah.
So, and it happened for, I think, every single form. It would change to the only form that changed to approved right away was the I-130. Every single other form, we would get I would get the approval notice under my document section, but I would never get a notification. And then it would still say that it was processing. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? Something just as simple as like saying your form was approved. Like,
right.
yeah.
It was
Even that they can let you know.
their programs and the turnaround
Yeah.
was to make sure everything was sent through all of the channels was probably a week or even a month
Yeah.
when it came to receiving things. But other than like this process specifically, everything where we felt super confident about everything we were doing. When we let go of all of it, physically sent it off, we felt relieved, but we also felt, who is going to be getting our package? Are they good at their job enough to where they are just doing their job and not letting any personal beliefs or
Sure,
because
biases. Yeah.
any personal beliefs or biases, because we would appreciate that. I mean, but
I get it.
Or even just like, or even again, how I said earlier, understanding the whole like how our careers work.
because it's not even that crazy of a career. But I mean, yes, it is crazy. I do not recommend to do what we are doing. Don't do it.
When my friend who got the work visa, when she got her last like denial before she got approved, she actually felt really confident in her entire portfolio and everything, every evidence she had gathered. And she kept telling me, I feel like the officer that I was assigned just doesn't really understand what I do. And I said, can I see your entire packet? And I saw it, and it was actually like a really, really good package. She had such good evidence, so many good letters of recommendation. And I said to her, her lawyer was like, let's just like do it again. But you have to change everything. And I said, honestly, I am not a lawyer and I don't know, but like, what does he want you to change? Like, what else can you add to this? Because she literally put her entire careers very well detailed. I was like, there's no reason. She sent the exact same package again, and she got approved right away.
And that's what makes me nervous, nauseous, upset, scared.
Yeah.
See, you're
Huge
very
factor.
you know, going into the process with anyone, we knew that the green card was not a guarantee.
Yeah.
We knew that.
Yeah.
I was not nervous if we got an interview in person. I was honestly, if we had gotten the interview, I would have been like, fine, because like if we when we want if we had an interview, in my mind it would just be like there is no reason why they would think this is not true. Like
Mhm.
I was also like just very confident about everything. So I was like, if I get the interview, I don't just
Right.
thinking about it, I wouldn't feel
We
nervous.
just wanted to know if we got it or not,
Yeah.
or if we had to do it or not. And we weren't gonna be nervous
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we have a real relationship going on there.
we know everything. But we just wanted to know that it was that, okay, are we on to step 3? Did we complete step 2?
Give me my freaking green card. Like, what is going on? Yeah.
One of those things where they're like, easy as 1, 2, 3. Well, not this process. So when they do have it in whatever the 3 steps, it's not 3 steps. It's like 30 steps in 3
Yeah.
steps. So that was the only part that we weren't even really nervous. We just were anxious about what,
Yeah,
but
what even immigration officer you get who's reviewing your application? You see, even that makes a difference. How is
Right.
that she submits the exact same application and just a different officer approves it?
yeah, and that's what made me nervous.
Yeah,
That's
of
what made me
course.
nervous the whole time is that we're doing all this work, blah, 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 blah. And like in school, you do such a good job on whatever your best assignment is, and you hand it in and you're like, I can't wait to see, what they think about that. I bet they're gonna love it. And then not knowing who's gonna get it
Yeah.
was like the worst part for me specifically. And it's not even about
In the
me.
case, yeah, of course.
I was just worried about who's gonna get our application, and like it could have been a completely different turnout.
Especially because I don't know if this is the best way to like describe it, but our entire evidence like section, it was like we were like pitching like the best product. You know what I mean? Like we
Get this. Picture this.
we were like, it was, yeah, like I was like, there is no way they could have the slightest doubt.
Yeah, we have to throw away like all of our papers for them to be confused.
Well,
Yeah.
but like a picture that it even said like, oh, this is like when we started to like each other. I don't remember how I worded it, but it was like he was teaching me how to crochet.
I also have to ask this. Did you feel fully supported through this? Or is there anything else that we can do to make this experience better for you?
Honestly, I don't
think
like there is so much support from you guys, but also from everyone else.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's beautiful to see how everyone in the group also supports each other.
We didn't feel lost at all.
And I love reading the posts where someone asks a question and then you comment your like what you think, or you comment your but you also say, I will let others chime in to tell you about their experience. And it's just beautiful to see then how like a lot of people come and give their experience, because it just gives the person who asked the question so much like peace of like having all these opinions and then all these like options of like, okay, I can do it this way and I can also do it this way. It's just it's really nice. For me, the group is a hotline, because if I got something, because sometimes when I got the like approval notices or like RFE and all these things, for some reason it would be Saturday or Sunday on until Monday. Oh my God. But then there's the group. I would call it the hotline. Like there's the hotline. Just go in, look up post with the same questions, and you'll have the answers.
That's cool.
Even though I wouldn't be able to hear from you until Monday, like I already had answers, your answers. Because it was your answers, and yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So how do you feel now knowing that you successfully navigated this process without hiring a lawyer?
Really happy that we did it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel empowered, proud of yourself? Because it's a big deal.
Many
Yeah.
companies, they always offer peace of mind. You won't need to worry. You can have peace of mind with us because we got your back. All those things that, of course, I'm sure they do, but with this one, not only you by yourself, but with the group, it's peace of mind, but also a piece of other people's minds
Yeah.
as well, who are also doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So your program really does promise the peace of mind because we're not feeling lost in this process at all. At all. We were not lost at all. We did not have a single question of, oh, what do we do now? Or like,
And it's also that you are able to relate to all of us
right.
because you also went through the same process. So some lawyers, they have no way to relate, or they don't
Yes.
understand the like stress that us could be going through, and especially the
Specifically
immigrant, like
you.
they just don't really understand. So I feel like since you can relate, aside from giving excellent information and detail and guidance, it's also how there's some sort of like comfort as well.
Someone who would not have gone through this, you like, I just can't, even though I've gone through the process with Rafa, I cannot relate to how he's feeling before, during, or after.
Of course, it's still a bit different.
Just what I felt from it.
Yeah.
But for it to be your feeling and your actual experience to be almost the same as your experience, it's with an American lawyer who has never had to do this, they have never been approved for a green card.
Yeah.
They technically, even though they know how it works, it still is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they
so we thank you for your going through that and then helping us and everyone else to go through it as smoothly as possible. You have codified the entire process so transparently, and you have provided, these are the mistakes I made. We are doing this to make sure that nobody makes those mistakes that cost them time, money, energy.
I remember that your green card got stolen from the mailbox.
I can't believe that, Margarita.
I was already prepared.
That's crazy.
I was like, hers got stolen. If mine gets stolen, like I already know that she will understand and she will let me know exactly what to do. Because in our building, we get packages stolen all the time.
All the time. Stolen or wedding outfits.
That's like one of the things that I was really nervous about.
So when you saw that your green card was printed, like, and that you were going to receive it that day, how did you go about getting it? Like, it was not an issue?
I never got a notification that like it was like nothing. It just said approved.
And then
documents would like, I would have the approval notice, and then a week after it would change to approve on the portal. But then the document would have already been delivered, or there would be no like notification. And if I got for the travel permit, I did get like your document was produced and now you're like, they're shipping it. It would say tracking number. It would say unavailable. So I would have no clue of like where it was. So I would be like opening the mailbox. It became a habit of like going downstairs, open the mailbox. And even if I just went to the grocery store for like 20 minutes or like 5 minutes, just get milk, and I would come back, I would open the mailbox again.
Just to check.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to make you paranoid, but it happens. It's a big business, you know?
Honestly, it's the building, because we got, well, for the wedding, we got like custom wedding outfits. They got stolen because we got them shipped from Kentucky. Like we had everything from the wedding stolen. Yeah. So that's why I was nervous about it. Yeah.
How do you feel about handling the upcoming processes, the removal of conditions and naturalization that our program covers as well?
Last night I said to Will, because we were we haven't been in a vacation in a long time, and I haven't been out of the country since August of last year.
Mhm.
So I was like, should I go home or should I use the money to like go on an actual vacation? And we were looking for flights to
Europe.
London, and it's cheaper to go to Europe than to go to the Dominican Republic, even though it's closer.
We're just
So last night I was when I was looking at the flights, then I was looking at like things to do over there, and then I was looking at the musicals, the shows they have over there, and I was like, well, they have way better
shows.
shows over there. We should move there. And so last night I was already looking, how long does it take to
When
get
can
my
we move
citizenship
there
so that
now?
then I can
Now that we do this, when can we leave?
Yeah, it's gonna be very fast, 3 years, but we're gonna talk about it. So it's all.
Yeah.
not because we like want to like move, but I'm honestly just like excited to do everything. Yeah, and I'm excited to learn more about the entire process.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be the next Elle Woods probably.
Yeah, literally.
Did you guys like it that our approach was including the entire immigration, not just giving you the first step?
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
Of course,
absolutely.
because the other places, they would have said, you're on your way.
Yes.
See you later. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that I would have no clue that it would just be 3 years, because from the lawyer in the DR, I don't know if there's like this misconception back home, because also my parents said this. They were like, oh my God, you're gonna apply for a green card. You are not gonna be able to leave the country for 4 years.
Yes, people do have that. I get it all the time. Like, I'm afraid to go for it because it's gonna take me 4 years to get through this. And I was like, okay, like all the way through naturalization, yes, but not the green card itself.
So I don't know but my lawyer back home was also like, you're gonna have to wait 4 years before you can exit the country. And I was like, what?
No.
But then I was watching your TikToks, and I would always see, oh, there's a travel permit. Oh, there's a travel
Mhm.
permit. So again, like
Right.
I always saw this information. I felt like you gave more information to the world on TikTok than lawyers gave to me when I had to pay them $250 just for a 15-minute phone call.
A lot of misinformation. Yeah,
That, you obviously people have to charge for what they're doing.
sure.
Totally understand, but it,
But it would be nice if they actually answered your questions, if they actually provided value for the time, right, that you paid for. That's the point.
right, that's the thing. It's like, right, even if you go to the doctor or the vet or something like that, they're like, well, we had to do an eye exam on your cat. And that immediately is going to cost that, even though
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? It was something, it's very similar to that a phone call with a lawyer costs this much money. You know what I mean? I understand that there's certain prices to things, but today, which I feel like you're doing a very current today kind of approach to
Yeah, modern, yeah.
a modern approach. And so that worked with us,
Yeah.
and we felt confident in you. And yeah, I mean, even people that we knew or were recommended to by other people, we were supposed to know and supposed to be more confident with word of mouth. It wasn't that feeling.
Yeah, and having the entire process included is, I like that there's already people in the
The
group.
after process or
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a post, I think like a week ago, of someone who said, I cannot believe that I'm gonna remove my conditions, or I don't know if it was to
Yeah,
a
to see
realization
that.
in like 5 months.
Yeah, to see that.
And so there's so many
Oh,
couples
okay.
that already like got their green card way before us. So just being able to now see their process of removal of conditions or naturalization is also gonna keep setting us for success, because we are also gonna know like what things we might run into.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's already gonna give us like that peace of mind of knowing
For the next.
what will happen.
Right.
Exactly. You will be fully prepped. It's gonna be so easy from here. You guys just did the hardest part, okay? The
Aside-
next two, easy.
Yeah, and I already watched all the videos.
I love this. So yeah, you now know exactly what to expect. That's awesome. Okay, very last question, you guys. What would you say to someone trying to decide between hiring a lawyer, maybe doing it entirely by themselves, or joining our program?
For me, I feel like with the program, you are guided through the entire process so detailed and in such a good way that even though you have to fill it out yourself, it almost feels like it felt like when I was like in first grade
You're here.
and my teacher would like try to explain to me that 2 + 2 is 4, and she would be like 2 + 2 is
Well, you were
what's
here.
2 + 2? 4. Like it's so well detailed that like there's just no way for
Anything could be messed
anything
up.
to go wrong.
It felt like you were here guiding us through each form, which is what you need for forms like these. They are confusing, they are out of date, they are not modern. There's so many things that if you were just filling out these forms just on your own for fun, don't recommend.
Yeah, and you
run into so many issues because of just how the forms are set up. And so for you to go through and be like, okay, so this form is incorrect, I'm gonna tell you where to go.
or not even the confusing questions, just like a simple mistake of like, for example, my last name, Pepen, it's P-E-P-E-N. A lot of people, by mistake, they sometimes put right P-E-P-I-N. So even like a mistake like that a lawyer could potentially do by mistake as well, like it would just drive me crazy. Oh, because when we were in Kentucky in December last year, his mom was buying a new car, and the guy at the dealership, he said, "Oh, my wife's from Argentina, and we just went through the process, but it took them so long because their lawyer accidentally misspelled her last name in one of the documents. So they got an RFE because of that.
And
So just having like the confidence in like
we could do it ourselves.
We can do it ourselves, but we have the guidance and we have answers to all the questions. But we are very confident that everything that we filled out is
correct,
100% correct. It's just,
and that way we don't have to worry about someone else doing it. That would have sent us to the moon.
Of course.
We were relying on someone else because I mean in another, I don't know how much they would have done versus us because we did do everything with your help, but using a different law firm or a lawyer, they would have had to fill out things for us. And so I'm sure they do a good job, but you never know.
It's the again, like you learn so much that you also understand the process so well that you don't feel like you're just like you don't know what's happening
for you, right?
You're not in the dark. Yeah.
You gave us so much information that we were in charge of it.
Yeah.
And that somebody else was not in charge of our case.
And also knowing how the entire processing thing works. Because for example, when I came here in 2019, my mom hired a lawyer for the student visa, and the process went really smooth. But then after COVID, I had to reapply for the visa because my program was only 2 years in school, so it had already expired. So when I decided to come back, I had to reapply, and I got denied. And I was like,
with a lawyer?
Yeah. I was so confused. And the lawyer was like, she didn't like give me any answers to my questions. So when I got denied, I fell into this bubble of like having absolutely no clue what's going on. And then I reapplied, and then they denied me again, but they gave me like a little slip that said that I had to attend an interview. And I was so confused. And I asked the lawyer what is going on, and she had no clue. Like she had no answers. And I was like,
And that's okay.
I
We
was like,
understand that people don't know, but
but then when I went for the interview, I asked the officer, I was like, is everything okay? Because she just like took all my like financial forms and everything that you need for the student visa. And she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, everything looks good." And I was like, is everything okay? And she's like, "Oh, here's what happened. In the system, it looks like you never left the country when COVID hit. Because I had when COVID hit, I had bought a flight for like April when I had a break from school for spring break.
Mhm.
But I then like I never took that flight because I actually like when it was announced that COVID was like really bad here in the city, I literally packed my entire apartment and left in one day. So
Wow.
I don't know if it is that in the system it was marked like I missed that flight that I was supposed to take in like April, but in the system it should have shown that I had exited the country in March and I never re-entered the country. So they had flagged me down.
And that wasn't even your fault. They just
Thinking,
didn't.
yeah,
That's crazy.
I know.
And that's one, again, not something that what I would think about, not something that I would worry about, but for him to be denied twice because of
Yeah.
them.
And then you don't know, like he's sitting there, he's like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And only because you met that officer who was decent enough to finally give you summons.
Not to tell you anything. I remember being on my cruise ship. We would have immigration come on the cruise ship every week, every single week, because
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
the
It's
amount
never fun. Those are not pleasant interactions, obviously.
those are and but it's just the attitude in which the officers will come on.
Yeah.
But everyone is legally hired and working, like this is just their place of work.
Yeah.
And they would just come in and be like, what are you doing here? What? And they're like, I'm a chef on a cruise ship being paid
Well, I think
$50 a day. Like
what's good,
it's crazy.
what gives me a lot of comfort with the group and this program is that it's easy for like people to see a green card as just a green card, but they don't really know like what it means to us as a couple and to the immigrant and like to everyone else in the group is like you, for example, me, and I know that everyone in the group as well, like we've like given so much, we've left our countries to like pursue a dream, and that dream ended up changing because you get married to someone you love and you meet new people and your entire life changes. That it's so like disheartening when lawyers just look at it as just like, oh, it's a green card, like whatever. But for you is much more than that.
Right.
Because
It's your life.
just being scared of getting denied, you just get scared of getting denied because it means like your entire life will change. You've given so much. You don't want to leave the person that you're with. And I remember before sending the packet, for some reason, I was more nervous before sending the packet than after. I would cry and I would ask him, would you move back to the Dominican Republic with me? If I got to, like, it was so stressful. Like, because you feel like your entire life is just like, you're just like balancing on a rope and you have no.
And it's just awful. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you've heard what has been said.
Yeah. But then seeing the group, how like everyone is just like happy and seeing people like, oh, we got approved a year ago. Here's an update. I bought a house. We have a kid now. We have a dog. Like, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you guys are a huge part of it. Like you've been so positive, your energy, the energy that you brought into the group. I feel so fortunate and so privileged that I also got a chance to be a small, tiny part of your journey in this country and in this life. Thank you so much, you guys. We took so much time from your day right now to do this interview. I'm so, so grateful. Thank you so, so much, you guys. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Margarita. Have a great day.
Wow, what an amazing journey they've had. And for anyone watching who hasn't yet heard about the marriage immigration method, we offer a step-by-step coaching program for couples who want to confidently handle the marriage immigration process without time delaying mistakes. If this interview resonated with you and you're ready for your own transformation, you can apply to our program through the links below. We've also included some free helpful resources if you're just starting out. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.